Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 5 of the Balancing Healthy podcast. I can't believe we're up to episode 5. That means it's been 10 weeks because we're doing fortnightly at the moment. It's been 10 weeks, which has flown by, but also so is this year. Like, we're already in December. The time we're recording, it's the day of recording, it's the 3rd of December, which I'm just like, where did this year go? But equally, it feels like it's been a year. It's so wild because it's like I've been on so many trips this year which feel like they were so recent, but it also feels like they were such a lifetime ago. Like this, I remember a specific trip I went on in January this year, end of January, to the sunny coast, and I think it feels like it was so long ago just because I feel like who I was back then feels like such a different Sarah. And I just think this year I've just had the most insane kind of transformation, not physically, but just like mentally, emotionally, professionally, like all these other senses. And I can't even describe it. Like, I'll do a recap or something on Instagram, but yeah, it's just been an absolute crazy, wild ride this year, but also equally been like one of the best fucking years of my life. So I'm so stoked about that. But today's episode, I've got my notes as always. I am going to give you guys the my top tips for staying on track this Christmas New Year period. And staying on track, I think, looks different over this next month or so than it does throughout the rest of the year because, obviously people go away, some people work, some people, have time off, they just chill at home. Like, doesn't matter what you're doing at this time of year. Generally, there's like, it goes a little bit slower for everyone. Like, even if you are working, like for example, me as a PT, there's a lot of clients away. I'm managing to get a week off as well, which is just going to be at home at this point. There's people that work in offices still, and I've done this as well in the past, like when I've worked in an office. A lot of people are away on annual leave, and then I've had the office to myself, and it just feels like really nice and just it feels slower. Like you can get a lot done, but it feels slower and more gentle and just a bit more relaxed. So that is my take on health and fitness as well at this time of year. You can be a little more relaxed. However, I don't think it is a time to be saying goodbye to all your healthy habits and healthy eating and training and stuff like that. I think it's dependent on your situation. It is something that will be adaptable. And like I said, you can take a little step back, but I don't think it's a time to just throw in the towel and go, fuck it, I'll start again next year. Because that is definitely what I've done a few times in my life before I found this healthy balance. So I want you guys to start to find a healthy balance and avoid doing that as well. I mean, this is literally the Balancing Healthy podcast, isn't it? So anyway, I will get into my first tip is to make sure you are not dieting. All right. If you're currently in a diet, in a deficit, whatever it is, get the fuck out right now. The worst thing you can do is to be, I don't want to say restricting, but like you're eating less food when you're in a deficit. The worst thing you can do is be doing that around Christmas when, there's Christmas Day, you've got a lot of food, doesn't matter what you're doing. Generally, everyone's eating a lot on Christmas Day. Say you're in the office, there's little treaties everywhere, you know, anything like that, lots of social events, Christmas parties, anything. The worst thing you can be doing is being in a deficit and trying to lose weight when there is so much going on around you. And literally, like, I also look at it as there's so many social events, and no, you're not missing out, but you're not having as much fun. You're not being as flexible. You're too focused on, I need to be eating this and I need to cut out alcohol and I need to do this. And it's like, you actually don't. Like, let's eat some yummy food, have some yummy drinks, and just live our best lives over Christmas. So that's my first tip coming out of deficit. I literally have, I think, only 2 more of my clients are in a deficit right now. And I've literally said to them, like, at the end of this week, you're out. Like, we're not dieting over Christmas. We can look at going into another one next year. Like, honestly, like, what is the rush to have a few weeks eating good food, having social time, not missing out, and when you can just go into the deficit next year, there's no rush. Like, have some weeks off. So that's my first one. No dieting. It is time to be maintaining. If you can maintain your weight and where you're at with your results currently throughout this next 4 or so weeks, fucking slay, my queens. Like, that's amazing. I generally find, due to, again, all the food, all the drinks, the sodium, the everything, you might put on a little bit of weight, but it's going to come straight back down. And that is something I'll talk to in a later episode. But for now, I'm just giving you the tips and tricks for how to navigate this season. So, first one, come out of that deficit right now. Second one is do not restrict. So kind of ties in with the deficit, but doesn't really. So I'm going to tie on a story. I mean, this again, a few years has happened to me, but there's one year I remember in particular, 2019. I remember so that was just before I was getting towards my lowest weight. So this is when I was getting really restrictive with my food because again, back then all I knew was like the less I eat, the more weight I'll lose. Like that was all I knew. So I was so restrictive on my food, December 2019. And I remember jumping on the scales every day and looking in the mirror every day and looking at my body every day and sucking my tummy. And like, I'm pretty sure I've got some videos on my phone being like, oh, look at me. Like, look, not saying it, but like the vibe of the video is like, look at me and look how lean I am at Christmas time. I remember that kind of being the feeling for it. But you know what? It got to Christmas Day that year. And of course, because it was Christmas Day, I was like, fuck it, I can eat whatever I want. And I remember so clearly, literally shoving my fucking face with so much food. I felt so sick. I remember going to my bed that night. Like, people were still at the house, and I was laying on my bed like in tears because I was in so much pain because I'd eaten so much fucking food. And it was like, that feeling where you just want someone to like rip your insides open and like you just want to like let it all out. Like it's that feeling of like I've eaten so much and I'm in so much pain. And like, yes, Christmas, you might overeat and you'll feel like a little bit of bloating and just a bit yuck, but this was like something next level. I just remember being in copious amounts of pain and just crying and thinking like, fuck, I feel like shit. And you know what that started? The next day, so Boxing Day, of course, is Christmas leftovers, but I was like, no, I'm not eating until 1 or 2 o'clock. Like I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna do a fast, right? So then I feel good again, quote unquote, feel good again. I'm gonna do a fast just so I can kind of push it out. And then I'll track my leftovers, because Christmas Day was my day off tracking. So Boxing Day, I was meant to get straight back onto perfect tracking, make sure I was only eating my, well, like 1,400 calories at this point, and just, yeah, not having a good time. So I remember I would get to the mid-afternoon, my quote unquote first meal of the day, which was leftovers, and I started tracking it. And then, of course, because I have not allowed myself to eat all morning, even though I was a bit hungry, I had not allowed myself to eat all morning. I then was like gorging on the leftovers that night. And again, it was just the same thing. It would happen for days, and that would happen every day for, I don't know, at least a week, like at least until the leftovers were done, until like New Year's was done. We got into that kind of routine coming back into the start of the year because it was that classic, like, I'll start again next year kind of vibe. And it was just fucking horrendous. And I just don't want anyone to do that. So the worst thing you can do is to be restricting your food. Don't say no to chocolate. Don't say no to your biscuits or cupcakes, or I don't know, what do people bring into the office these days? I haven't worked in an office in a few years. Like, don't say, if you want a little bit, have a little bit. Don't say no to it. If you don't want it, then don't have it. Like, you can say no then, but if you're craving it, if you want a little bit, have some. All right. If you want a little bit of alcohol, have some. Allow yourself to have these things, but in moderation. Should just be really aware of it. So, a way that I say it's good to balance out, like I said, the cookies and donuts and whatever's in the office and the alcohol and stuff, is still make sure, so it's kind of a separate tip, but it kind of like ties in, is still make sure that you are eating balanced meals. So you're still eating a breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, of course, unless you have a social event on. Say like you might have your breakfast and your lunch and then go out for your social event for that night. Like whatever the kind of thing is. It's really hard if I don't have a specific scenario with me. Make sure you're still having a balanced breakfast, balanced lunch. So you've got some protein, some veggies, some fruits, you've got some carbs, some fats to help keep you full. Like make sure you're still nourishing your body. And then you'll notice when you go to said social event, you won't be craving everything there. For example, let's say I have a Christmas party this Saturday afternoon. So I will still, because of the time I need to get ready, it starts at 2. So for me, I'll probably have like a really fucking huge brunch in the morning, right? I'll make sure it's probably going to be eggs and avo bagel. That's literally my vibe at the moment. I'll probably have some fruit, maybe some protein yogurt or a protein shake, something like that. So I've got the protein covered. I've got fats, fruits. I've got like fiber, everything covered. So then by the time I get to my Christmas party at 2 o'clock and I start having a few drinks and start having some stuff to eat, I'm not like ravenous and I'm not going to eat every fucking thing on the table and I'm not going to drink my sorrows away. Like, I love a drink, but where I used to be with my drinks, again, Christmas Day will be a good example. I'd be like, fuck it, it's Christmas Day. Let me just drink all the fucking wine. No. Again, I would feel fucking shit the next day. Where I'm at now with balance and with my health and my lifestyle and everything, I can go out, have some drinks, and I know that point in my head where, okay, that's enough. Or I need to slow down, or I need to have some water, or I need to eat something. Like, I'm really, really good now with balancing my alcohol. I used to just fucking write myself off all the time. Again, wake up feeling shit, not having a good time. But now I'm really, really good at balancing it all. And also, it helps that the next day I don't want to feel like shit. You know, I want to wake up feeling amazing, feeling good. Maybe not perfect, but I don't want to be written off for the whole day. Like, maybe just need some extra hydration or something. Like, that's my ideal. So that one's kind of got off on a tangent, but please do not restrict. Do not say no to things if you want them. Just be mindful and have things in moderation. The next one is to keep moving your body. And now, like I said before, I said this time of year, it's not going to be as intense, you know. Say you're training, I'm just going to use me for an example. So I train 3 times a week. Um, that's my consistent routine I can stick to every single week, unless I don't know, something crazy happens or I'm on a holiday or something. 3 times a week is something that I can do well and still keep balance. It means I can train intentionally. It means I can train hard. It means I can actually push, like do all the things. For me personally, I am not going anywhere over this Christmas New Year's period. I'm still working like kind of here and there. I'll have like a little bit of time off, but not really um a lot. Like I said, I'll kind of scale it back a bit. So my training shouldn't change. For me, I can still keep my 3 gym sessions per week. Um, but depending on, when my eating is different again, Christmas, Boxing Day, family events, whatever, social events, your body's not going to be feeling as good. It's not going to be as fueled. It's not going to be feeling as strong. So, like, I will likely scale back the intensity of my sessions. I'll still do them, but I'll scale them back. If you're going away, it might look like getting up every morning and going for a bit of a longer walk every day, and then that's done for the day. Maybe you're now I was like, I don't go away. A lot of people go away to like the river. I call it the river, like there's different rivers, but like maybe you've got a boat and you do like wakeboarding or something. That's pretty active. That can be your movement for the day. Like, it could be maybe you're away and you, I don't know, have a stretch session, or maybe you do a little run, or maybe you do some yoga or Pilates, or like whatever it is. Like, if you have service, there's plenty of YouTube videos. You can Google like a 10-minute yoga flow or something. Like, it can be literally anything. I really, really, really encourage you to keep your body moving. Do one thing every single day, even if it's small. Like I said, it doesn't have to be strenuous. Even if it's small, just do something to keep your body moving, because that's going to be the difference of you feeling good for the day and you feeling like, fuck, my body feels good and like I want to keep up this routine, as opposed to if I sit on my bum all day, maybe I don't want to go and eat well. Maybe I don't want to drink my water. Maybe I don't, you know, maybe I want to make bad decisions. Like, trust me, the difference with you having 20, 30 minutes to move your body a day, it's gonna have a really big ripple effect for the rest of the day and the rest of your time away and everything like that. And also on the other side, so B, point B to that, when you come back from your time away, it's going to be easier for you to get back into that routine because, say you're someone who goes for a walk every single day and then you just didn't while you were away. That's going to be hard to get back into it. Whereas if you did a little walk every day or a longer walk every 2 days or something, it's like, oh, well, I've still kept up my movement. So now it's easier for me to get back into it. If you don't, obviously, if you say you go away camping, you don't have a gym near you, that's fine. I would just recommend stretching. I would recommend, like I said, just moving in somewhere. Maybe it's a bike ride, maybe it's a at-home Pilates or yoga or something. Just keep that body moving, keep it mobile, keep it active. So then when you do come back and you do get back into the gym, then you're actually going to be feeling It's not going to be as hard. You're going to be feeling that little bit better. Like yes, at the start again, because we haven't been eating normally, we haven't been fueling our bodies correctly. It's going to be a little bit harder. It'll take some time to get into it, but trust me, you just you will just get there in no time. You'll get there so much quicker if you just make sure you keep moving while you're away. So that's my kind of third tip. And something else as well. I'm actually going to be doing a daily movement series on my Instagram from mid-December to mid-January. I have intentionally done this on the from the mid-December to mid-January because that's the time when people aren't working, they're away, they're out of routine. And it's just a way for me to show you guys, like I'm going to post something every single day, just on my stories of this is my daily movement for 30 days, right? It's just going to show you there are different ways you can move your body. It's going to look different for everyone, but it's just to give you some ideas. And then at the end of the 30 days, like we'll do like a little wrap up of it. And again, I'll show you everything I did in that 30 days. And then you'll see when I get back into my quote unquote normal routine, everyone's back from holidays, back into working harder, training clients, everything like that. It's going to be much easier on my body because I haven't stopped moving it. And it's also just, I thought it'd be cool if any of you guys, if you follow my Instagram, if you don't, you should go follow it at Coach by Says. If you want accountability just to keep your body moving while you're away and stuff, then you can just join me. Let's do this on Instagram. It's just going to be like a bit of fun, just, bit of accountability. Let me know if you're going to join. I haven't actually posted the details yet, but when I do, you'll see them then and then we can join. So that is my kind of third and I guess final one that I had. Um, I think this time of year, like I said earlier, is when a lot of people just kind of go, fuck it, I'll start again next year. But it is not the time to be giving up. Like I said earlier, in terms of like weight, it is time to be maintaining. You want to be very mindful of what you're eating, how you're moving, your water, your sleep, everything. And then on the other side, if you're someone who, maybe you haven't spent the year building up those good habits, maybe, you're like 2025 is it. I'm so serious. I really want to work, towards becoming happier, healthier, more balanced in my life with my health, fitness, lifestyle, everything. This is a time when you can start building up those habits. So I actually literally just finished a 30-day consistency challenge that I was running, which we did 30 days. We used a habit tracker. We did a few calls. It was just the habit tracker was there for the girls to, like I said, start implementing habits, start thinking about things that they really want to focus on for 2025, and let's start building up the habits now. So there was things from making sure I sleep 8 hours a night. Things like making sure I walk 10,000 steps a day, making sure I hit 2 strength sessions a week. Like it is so tailored to the individual, but I would really recommend this being a time for you to not focus on weight loss or not focus on restriction, but instead to focus on maintaining and focus on building up good habits. So if you want a habit tracker as well, I've got a free one. Let me know. I will like send me a DM on Instagram or comment on this podcast, this episode, sorry, and I will send it to you. Just let me know your email address. I'll send it to you. But it's really, really simple, really easy. I have a few little prompts down the bottom. So down the bottom, it just says like, what are my goals, intentions for this month? And then you'll write down what that is. And then that'll help you work backwards to setting some intentional habits to try and hit for the remainder of December. And if you need help with that, absolutely let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Um, but yeah, pretty much that is everything, I believe. I think this episode, again, went a lot shorter than I thought it was. But I think that's really important as well with this podcast is that I don't want to spend, 40, 45 minutes, an hour, like giving you guys a million and one things to be doing. I think it should be really simple. I think it should be things you can action straight away. It should be something anyone and everyone can do depending on your circumstances and all of that. Um, and yeah, it's just something to keep you guys working towards a better, healthier version of you so you can balance your healthy. That's literally the point of this podcast. One more thing I will kind of low-key mention before I wrap it up is I am working on something behind the scenes that's going to be launching very, very soon. So I'm recording this on the 3rd of December. It'll be launched within the next 2 weeks. So by the time you guys are listening to this, it'll be launched within a week and a half. So keep your eyes peeled on my Instagram. This is going to be something that'll be so incredibly beneficial for 2025 if you have serious goals about getting healthy, learning how to balance your life, fitness, health, nutrition, lifestyle, work, mindset, everything. Like actually being serious and you want to learn how to do that in 2025. This is going to be so perfect for you. It is something that's going to be personalized for you because that's what I'm about. I'm all about personalizing everything. I think everyone is so unique as an individual. And it's just going to teach you everything you need to know to keep going, to keep being the best, healthiest version of yourself. So I'm going to be launching that in a week and a half. Keep your eyes peeled on my Instagram. I'm going to start to share little snippets here and there. Um, but yeah, it's something that it's going to be very affordable and I think you guys are going to love it, especially if you're loving this podcast. You are 100% going to love what I've got coming for you. So keep your eyes peeled. Like I said, I'll let you know as soon as possible. I'm just still finalizing some things in the background for it, but I'm really, really excited. I feel like 2025 is the year. I feel like it is the year for good things. And I'm not going to get into it, but I can just see so much good happening in 2025. And I can just see so many people, like just based on conversations I've had lately, like so many people just really focusing on themselves and their health and really putting themselves first in 2025. And I think that is so important because how can we give to others if we can't give to ourselves? So, yeah. Anyway, that is me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want to chat about anything that I've spoken about, if you want me to kind of personalize any of these tips to your holidays coming up, your Christmas period, like whatever your situation is, please send me a DM on Instagram. I am so, so, so more than happy to help you guys out. Like, this is what I do day in, day out. I freaking love it. I just want you all to be thriving and having the best time and going into 2025 feeling amazing. So please DM me if I promise I don't bite. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, however you're consuming this podcast. I appreciate you so much. I can't believe it's been 5 episodes already and it's been 10 weeks. That's like 2.5 months. We're nearly at 3 months of the Balancing Healthy podcast. It's fucking huge. And I appreciate everyone who listens, watches, everything. If you do love it, please let me know. Share on Instagram. Give me a 5-star review, whatever the thing, leave a comment, whatever your thing is that you like to do. I really, really appreciate it. And I will speak to you guys in the next episode, which we'll be looking at setting very intentional goals for 2025 and then how you can refine them from there. So it's going to be a good one. Keep your eyes out for that in a fortnight's time. But I love you guys. I'm going to leave you guys and just thank you so much for being here. Bye.